I'm about to commit a direct violation of our orders. Any of you who wish to object should do so now. It will be noted in my log.
Captain, I believe I speak for everyone here, sir, when I say, to hell with our orders.
Red alert, all hands to battle stations. This is episode 15 of A Strange New Pod. We are live on Twitch and now also YouTube. So welcome to any new viewers who are watching us there. This is exciting new stuff. It's like 24th or 25th technology or something. So fun times. Please keep the comments and questions coming all night long. We're testing a new system, so hopefully more of us will get to chat with you. It's very exciting. Thank you, Eric, for setting all that up. If you are listening to this in podcast form on Friday, we want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. So we hope you're having a very healthy and safe holiday. I am your captain and host this week, Julian Brown, alongside my trusty bridge crew, our Admiral of the Airwaves, Eric, alongside the Borg Queen of Puns herself, Ensign Brittany, and the Megazord Grand Admiral Dominus of Kronos, Erin. I'm going to give you a new one each week.
I've assumed the position.
Oh, yes. Erin, Brittany has assumed the Borg position.
Call me Locutus of Brit.
Locutus of Brit. I love it. Also joining us tonight is a member of our awesome patron collective. I love that we call them our patron collective. It's very fitting for this episode. Rob is joining us. He was drawn to guest on the show this month. So welcome aboard, friend.
Hello. And
welcome aboard.
Rob is recovering from our episode of Drunk Space Nine last night, which was a hell of a good time, but not a lot of memory of what happened.
He's not the only one recovering. I think you and I, well, you seem fine, Julian, after some Wendy's.
I have one of those brand new Star Trek livers that they just get replicated. So,
oh, dang, any one of those.
He's like Picard. They just made him a whole new body.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a golem. So glory to you and your houses. We're in for a fun one tonight. It is our Star Trek First Contact deep dive, look back, and review. So exciting. As always, a big thank you to Sam Dillard and Samo Studios for our Trek-tastic intro and outro music. And we have some news. This will be our last episode before the holidays. It's not really a long break. We just won't be doing our live stream review of Star Trek Discovery episode 11 on Thursday because it's Christmas Eve. We want to spend time with our families. We need a little bit of a break. Allegedly, yeah. We actually just got our tree like 4 hours ago. Yay! So had to do it after Hanukkah ended. So this will be our last episode. This will drop on Friday if you're not listening live, and then we'll be back Saturday to review Disco.
I know what you can put on your tree.
I know. I just got mine in the mail, and it's awesome. Erin got these made for us for the entire crew, and they're beautiful and so cool, and I love them.
They smell so good.
Oh, so Aspasy is that?
Oh my God, be careful.
That's what it is on YouTube.
And we're not allowed on YouTube or Twitch anymore.
No,
okay.
that's Giraffe. So we're just gonna make sure we call her Giraffe because I don't know what Aspasy is. Or
let's just say Aspazy.
Aspazy, yeah.
Aspazy? Okay. All right. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So we'll be back with our review of Discovery Season 3, Episode 11 on Saturday, and then let's see who wants to do it this week. Erin.
Yes.
How can people show support to our show and join our collective?
Well, there are many ways you could do that. If you're enjoying the show, you could either join our Discord or our Patreon. If you join our Patreon, you're going to get a bunch of benefits. We're going to send you some cool stuff from time to time, and you get access to special things like Drunk Space Nine, which is the thing we're all recovering from. Last night, we did a live drink making of the Borg spear drink from Quark's Bar in Vegas from way back when. Then we all watched the episode Captain Proton from Star Trek Voyager, and we drank the Borg spear during it, and many, many fun things were had. I don't even remember. I guess we'll find out when we listen to the podcast. And if you're a member of Patreon, you get to be part of that exclusive podcast. Rob and one of our other members they joined us on the podcast to talk about it. So it's a lot of fun. We do other things like Julian's going to be doing gift making. I'm actually sending out special ingredients to people's houses from where I live in LA for our January special drink making. So you get a lot of cool stuff if you join us, and you're supporting us, helping us make this show, paying for the booze and the hosting and all the things we need. And
giveaways.
Yeah. Let's talk about giveaways.
Giveaways?
Brittany, you have a giveaway before we get to our thanks.
So peeps. We're doing a giveaway today because we watched one of the TNG movies. So I have here, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't like disappear.
It's in the video. We can see it.
Ta-da! It is the original Star Trek The Next Generation playing card set, and it's in the original tin box. It's completely wrapped up and taped. I think it's never been opened, found in my comic and collectible shop's basement. So
Very cool.
I found this, and it will go to one lucky winner. It has so many awesome things. So many.
How can they win that?
They can win it by sending us a keyword, which is,
Ooh.
I forget what it is.
So the keyword is, if you
Good
watch.
luck.
Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit difficult. I'm not going to say it on the stream. I want people to earn this one. But if you watched Star Trek First Contact with us in the watch along, or go and watch it after we're done recording, Picard, like every Starfleet officer, has an authorization code. Picard says it twice in this movie. It's to talk to Admiral Hansen, and then it's to activate the auto-destruct sequence. What is Jean-Luc Picard's Starfleet authorization code? Email us the answer at astrangenewpod@gmail.com. First person to get it wins. Good luck, and we'll see who wins. I'm excited.
Email, not in the comments.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
put it in the
Email.
comments, you
Email.
might lose.
Yeah.
Is the basement haunted? Spotted Giraffe wants to know. No, I don't think so.
Wade's basement?
Yeah.
I do have a
Haunted
funny
with
story.
cool stuff.
I did get haunted last week. Kevin and I freaked out. We actually went upstairs with like our little box cutters. But it turns out it was people running next door.
Oh,
But it was like it was at like midnight, so it freaked us out. But no, in general, I feel good at Wade's at night. Only once or twice have I been like spooked, but that's only because I'll turn a corner real quick when the lights are off, and I'll like see a bust of like Elvis's face, and I'll be like, "Oh fuck!" But
Yeah.
it's just Elvis.
Real quick sidebar. I used to work in an escape room company, and one of the rooms we had, it was like an old haunted dungeon with like skeletons, and it had spooky sounds. And in one of the rooms, because of the way it was wired, you couldn't turn off the sounds. So at
Oh.
night, and I'd be closing by myself. At night, it's just like you're in a dark, scary dungeon with like dead things, and it's just doing scary sounds, and that messed me up a little.
Like a skeleton pops up and it's just like, and
Yeah,
you're
it's like 2 a.m.
Jesus.
and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, if I get
You
murdered
know the
in
ones
here,
that sound
it would
like that.
be so dramatic. That'd be a great episode of CSI. Anyway,
This is a
I-
great segue because the Borg are equally scary.
Eric, what were you going to say?
I thought giraffe meant is the cards haunted? Are the cards haunted?
Oh no, I mean,
Are they like a Horcrux?
Maybe.
haunted by memories past.
All that once you take off all that tape, it's just like whoa.
I do some digging in the basement from time to time, and I keep finding some Star Trek gems. So
Hmm.
stay tuned.
whoever finds it, when you open it, take pictures of the cards inside it and send them to us. I want to see
Yes.
what's on there.
Yes, agreed.
I had some of those when I was a kid.
I have
Oh,
a
yeah?
loose one actually.
Not a full set like that, but I think I had a few.
I have a Wiki card.
Somewhere in my dad's basement is the Star Trek, the collectible card game cards, and I had some really good ones. I missed that game.
I think these are the same ones. These are just loose ones I found around the store. Look, it's Guinan. I kept it because
Nice.
I love her.
Aw.
Nice.
Nice. Hey Eric, why don't you give us some special thanks to our patron collective?
Well, shit. I closed that window.
Happy to give thanks to all of our patrons. We are going to thank Simon Stagger, Jeff Reeve, Myra Gossett.
Oh God.
Sorry,
Mariah.
Mariah. Listen, it's been a long couple of days. Sorry, Mariah.
been a long road.
Mag,
Mag.
Jesus,
Mag,
getting
Mag.
from there to here. Anne Bradley, Spotted Giraffe,
Whoop, whoop.
Brandon Feltzer,
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Thatcher, Rob. Thanks, Rob.
Hey Rob.
Jen Stein.
I'm pretty sure that's
Tina
Gen Stein.
Alexander.
Gen.
The next generation, Stein.
Jen, let us know. Joe
And,
Saporito.
yep.
I'm doing a great job right now, guys. I'm just going to congratulate myself. I can't even talk. Noe Santos and
Kang Hui.
Kwang Hee. Kang Hui.
Kang Hui.
Congratulated yourself.
Also-
Too soon.
Did we say Tina Alexander?
We did.
did. Tina
Okay, just making
Alexander.
sure. I heard.
I'm so surprised. Look at this crazy long list there. You can't see.
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm so happy that all these people. Thank you guys for being part of it and supporting us and joining the madness.
It's
Well,
so
I'm
Starting to sweat. What the fuck is my surprise?
hold on before we get to your surprise, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, if you notice, Hawk isn't with us tonight. Yeah, he had a situation come up with his family, and our thoughts are with him right now. We'll see him again soon, but yeah, so that's why Hawk is not with us tonight. But on a happier note, Brittany, I got you. This is part one, technically, of, since, you know, this is our sister cast, part one of EIP Under the Christmas Tree, but I thought it would be more appropriate to do it on our Star Trek show.
Hold on, let me hydrate.
Yeah,
I've been sweating ever since you said the surprise was for me. I'm like,
and I just want to preface this by saying too, I wanted to keep it a secret for everyone until the last minute. Really, this is a gift from all of us. So I just want to preface by saying that. But this is your part one of your Christmas present, and really hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, weird. Eric.
So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go to a quick BRB on our stream, and then it'll load up. I don't want to accidentally screen share the wrong thing to you guys. So but it'll be
Eric's home movies.
Whoa.
It'll be like he doesn't like his background.
It is. It really is. It's cyberpunk. Anyway. So we will go.
My background is Laura Bailey.
Ooh, I would love that as a critter.
And Sam Riegel.
I will go to BRB and then pop it up right away, and then I'll screen share to you guys. All right. Be right back, guys.
Brittany? Hi, Brittany. It's Doug Jones, the tall, skinny, goofy actor fellow who plays monsters and creatures in movies and TV shows, and I'm having a little chocolate mug full of love here it's got a sweater on it. It's very Christmassy. It's kind of adorable, isn't it? I know. Well, hey, Merry Christmas to you, right? Well, now, the reason you have to look at me without any rubber on my face today, I'm sorry I have to take in the real me. But you can either thank or blame Julian Brown. Yes. Now, Julian tells me that you are a friend and a co-host with him for ASNP. Now, he didn't tell me what ASNP stood for, so I did a little Google search. All kinds of things came up. So I don't have any idea what ASNP stands for. It could be, I think one of them was the Academy of something and something. So anyway, but you're co-hosts of this ASNP together, and I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You enjoy that ASNP, okay? Or ASNP, as we call it in the biz. Now, Julian tells me, Brittany, that you are a big fan of my work. Bless you for that. And he said, not just Star Trek, but all my work. So, I never take it for granted that anybody should know who I am, let alone be a fan of mine. So thank you for calling yourself that. And for knowing about my entire body of work as opposed to just, one thing here and there. I've been at it for almost 35 years, so it's like, I've had time to rack up a lot. But it sounds like you are a bit of a Trek fan, which I think is delightful. Thank you for helping keep us on the air. Julian, first of all, I think he's a keeper as friends go, right? To go to the trouble to do this and to put me on the spot like this was very big of him to do for you. And put me on the spot how? I'll tell you, because he wants me to say something to you very specific. And I have to tone it down a bit because I'm not much of a cusser. Now, if you know Julian better than I do, of course you do, you probably know that there's a cussing is probably a thing that you guys do together. I don't know. But for me, if I were to twist it into my own, I would say, hey, it's warp time, mother farker. Did you get that little farker? Yeah. Well, it is warp time. That's a Trek thing. And I just hope that you guys are enjoying all of Star Trek over the years. And thank you for helping keep us on the air. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a job. It's true. It's true. I've enjoyed, like, my entire career has been so fun and so varied and so variety filled with all the different characters I've been able to play and many genres, between horror, science fiction, fantasy, comic book movies, and Star Trek is about as science fiction-y as it gets. Is warp travel possible, do you think? What do you think about that? Since we went there, I wonder if I don't know if I think I've heard conjecture on this before, with scientists talking about, like, can one shoot through? Is it possible? No. The thing that I was most fascinated with watching Star Trek as a kid with the transporting, the dematerializing and then materializing over here. Oh wow! It's like, can you do that? Because that'd be great. Great way to travel faster, and in a lickety split, you can be somewhere else. But what I worry about, Brittany, if we can talk about this, I worry that the deconstruction can happen, but getting it all back together in the right form, that's bothersome. That's terrifying to think about. I would probably come out, okay, I'm back together, until you beam me, and multiple beamings could, maybe get you back to where you belong. I don't know. The things we think about when we have time, it's not healthy. I'm sure it's not healthy. Speaking of healthy, I hope you are, Brittany, I hope that you are healthy and happy and well. And most of all, through this holiday season and beyond, into the new year, gosh, I hope and pray the new year is so much better than this past one. And for you personally, I hope and pray for your hopes and dreams to come true and be fulfilled, that you'll find success on all levels, personal, professional, and with this ASNP co-hosting gig. And that most of all, that you'll continue to find love in all of its forms. And you're getting some love today from that ASNP co-host, Julian, and me, Dougie Jones. Did you feel it? I know. And as a high-ranking officer in Starfleet, I can say with some authority, even though I'm not Vulcan, live long and prosper. And most importantly now, more than ever, love long and prosper. Merry Christmas. Love.
And there we go. Brittany's part one of her Christmas present. I'm gonna blow you away even more tomorrow.
I like that he just kept going, and I was like, "Go off, go!"
When I received his cameo, I was in the middle of playing Warzone, and it just kept going and going, and I was like, "Holy shit, Doug Jones! You just sent me a 6-minute cameo for Brittany." Like when we did it for
low key, I think he knows who I am because he likes all my tweets.
So we did like the Kevin Conroy one, and it was like 2 minutes. But Doug Jones is so awesome, and Merry Christmas, Brittany. I hope you loved that.
For a minute, I was starting to think, I was like, is he not really on Cameo, and you guys just put a filter in, and he actually is hearing my response? And then I was like, no, that's too next level.
That would be insane.
That's next steps to get him on the show.
Yeah, I was just like, oh man.
And then we could tell him what ASNP stands for.
So I actually messaged him later because I felt so bad. But like when you're typing in the request on like what you want him to do, you only have character. And each time I tried to keep Strange New Pod in there, I was like, but I need to say this, this, and this. So I just had to keep it.
You're like, I have to fit warp time, motherfucker. It's so long.
Literally, it was because of warp time, motherfucker.
Yeah, I had a feeling he wouldn't actually want to say that because
that was amazing
as a person. But I like that he really tried to.
He did. So Merry Christmas, Brittany.
You guys are the best. I'm sweaty.
Me too. With that, we are going to get to our Strange New Loop.
I was ready for it. You'll learn, Rob. You'll learn.
It's so much louder on Zoom than it is on Twitch.
Yeah.
Brittany came up with our Strange New Loop for this week, and that is What song would you play if you made first contact with beings from another planet? And I'm going to put Rob right on the spot as our guest. And I'd be right before he goes, Twitch and YouTube, if you're listening, we would love your answers in the chat as well.
Wow, that is really tough, and I don't know where to start. I would totally not like to be the first right now.
On the spot.
I just
On
thought of
the
something.
spot.
Oh man.
Feel the stress. Feel the stress. You can do it, Rob. We believe
You
in
gotta
you.
sweat as much as I did.
I'm sorry. The
pre-Doug
only
Jones.
thing that's coming to mind right now is Stairway to Heaven.
I love it.
Could be cool.
I love it. Yeah, especially the guitar solo. Like, just give that to the Vulcans every time, and give it to them on one USB drive, so they have to play it on repeat and end up hating the song like everybody.
Well, we put them on one of those little green discs that
Oh, yeah.
Cochran had.
It was kind of like those discs they tried to make in like the early 2000s. That
Mini
completely
discs.
failed.
Mini discs. I remember that.
I remember that as well.
I always thought that would become a thing, and it just never did. Like, it was on TV, and I think they sold them for 10 minutes, and then they never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and the movies that Sony tried to do with the PSP or whatever it
The
was.
Laserdisc ones? Or the
Oh, God,
HD
Laserdisc.
ones?
You're talking about the little PSP discs? The
Yeah, those
UMD?
ones. They tried
Oh, okay.
real hard, and they lasted like what, 6 months?
Yeah,
That's how it
the
goes.
UMD.
Yeah.
What would that stand for? Something media disc?
It's because
You know-
Blu-ray eventually took over, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation why that
Yeah.
took over.
I know what I think it's been a long road getting from there to here, and that's
Oh.
the song that I would do. Eric, I know
I-
you listen. I don't like the show, but I like this song.
Damn straight you do.
Oh, let's. Oh,
So that's your answer, Aaron? That
That's
would
my
be a
answer.
song? All right, I love it.
You know,
Alright.
I actually have that as my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday wake up from computer. You know, Alexa.
Mhm.
It just starts to play, and I wake up. I'm like,
Been a long road.
it's time to go. It's Star Trek time.
Thank you, Neko452 for following us on Twitch.
Yay! Thank you.
They're like, Doug Jones appeared. Of course.
Yeah, right.
Got it. That'd be great.
From one E to the next, Eric. How about you? What song would you
Oh
choose?
God, Aaron, you stole my my thing.
You can have the same song. That's totally
which
cool.
I actually sang when it opened in when I was watching First Contact last night or 2 days ago, because it's in the intro of Enterprise. What would I do? I sort of want to do like a classical song, or not even a classical song. Maybe like the Fellowship
Tchaikovsky's
theme.
1812.
I love the Fellowship theme because I used to take the train to Toronto, so I used to listen to that on the train in, and I'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm going on an adventure." Then I switched out with no dun 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 dun.
Welcome to a
branded
strange new
Wolf
pod where we vocalize all of our favorite
Yeah.
songs for
Oh,
you.
I could do an entire podcast about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Oh God.
Yeah.
Easily.
You-
In my sleep.
very easy. Have you seen the 4K restoration?
I have to
What,
find
what,
my
what do you
playlist,
call
so-
it? A hot take.
It's-
Hot take. I don't like Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Get out. Get out.
And you
Get
don't.
Get off my
Fantasy.
bridge. Get off my bridge.
It's amazing, just like Stargate Universes. I actually
It's garbage.
I think
It
you
was
haven't.
great, Eric.
You have not watched it with me yet.
It's my thing is it's fantasy and I like sci-fi.
Aaron, I love
the-
sci-fi too, but there's a
Keep it
time and a
likable.
place.
Speaking of sci-fi, Spotted Giraffe has a great answer on YouTube. She says Intergalactic from the Beastie Boys. I
Ooh,
love it.
yeah.
What about Sabotage?
Jay! Neko's Jay.
Can I have like
Hey,
the
Jay.
theme from Sailor Moon as an alternate?
Sure, absolutely. Hey, Brittany, you're up.
Yes. Okay. So I'm torn.
Ooh.
I have like 3 different options I want to pick. One, I would love the opportunity to rickroll another like group of people from it. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to be like, never gonna give you, and that's my go-to like karaoke song.
Meg.
I learned. I went to karaoke one time in my life, and immediately I was like, "You need to play this song." And they're like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I will do the dance moves and everything." So yeah, "Never Gonna Give You Up" would be awesome. I feel like.
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, real quick. Mag just joined. Hi, Mag.
Meg,
Meg, Meg.
Another
Sorry, continue,
member of our
Brent.
collective.
But I'm also like, I also want to pick a song that I'm just really hype about. Like, I love "Take on Me." Like every version of that song ever. So like, you know, I would be like talking away, and they'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know what."
Just do the
what
Ashley
to
Johnson
say."
version.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'll cry.
NY Rowlight said, I fell asleep in the theater during the first Lord of the Rings movie. It got better though in the next 2.
Eh,
I think for like peace between people of different planets, I'd probably have to go pretty disco-y. And then I would have to do Maxine Nightingale's Right Back Where We Started From, because I can't not sing that song every time I hear it. Like, I freak out in my car when it comes on. I don't know why.
And Neko just said that they've never seen Lord of the Rings, so this seems to be the theme tonight.
I am going down to Hamilton, and I'm going to show you this.
Wow, you guys can go over
Jump on
to
the way, Eric.
Everything
Yeah.
is Permitted and watch it over there, because I'm not here for the fantasy.
We'll
except
grab
for Harry Potter.
Hawk. Hawk's on the way
Harry
too.
Potter.
You know, Aaron, one day I'll be over your house or apartment or whatever. I'll be on your couch, and I'm going to have you watch that with me, and you're going to love it.
I'll get drunk. It'll be fine.
Hey, Gloria Sarafa, hi. So finally, my turn for my first contact song. First thing that came to my head, I don't know why it is one of my favorite songs, Paint It Black.
Ooh, interesting choice.
Dark.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's dark, it's deep, but I think it is a Earth rock and roll classic that is going to be in like that disc that they send in the next Voyager ship for the aliens to listen to. It might already be on it.
Which version?
Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Like totally.
You don't want to go with Gob? I don't know.
No,
Did Gob go down into the States? I don't know.
What does Gob need with a spaceship?
I love the idea that everything we sent out into space back in the day was like classical and Tchaikovsky and blah blah blah, and now everything it's gonna be like Linkin Park or something.
It's gonna be
I don't know.
games. It's gonna be like Who Dat Boy, and we're like, that's 10 years old.
All right, guys, let us get to our Star Trek First Contact deep dive and look back, and we have our synopsis, which is going to be read by Rob. So whenever you're ready, it's warp time, motherfucker. Hit it, Rob.
All right, so our synopsis tonight for First Contact is that 6 years have passed since Captain Jean-Luc Picard was captured and assimilated by the Borg. Now, the Borg make a second attempt to conquer the Federation. Starfleet believes that Picard's experience make him an unstable element to a critical situation and order him to stay behind. But when Starfleet's fight does not go well, Picard and the crew of the new USS Enterprise disobey orders to join the fight, following the Borg 300 years into the past, just as Zefram Cochrane prepares to launch humanity's first warp-capable engine, Phoenix, and make contact with an alien race. That is a hell of a run-on sentence, Julian.
It is. I did not write that. That is from Memory Alpha. That everything else I wrote, but that
First Contact was written by Brandon Braga and Ron Moore of Battlestar fame, and directed by Jonathan Frakes.
The great, amazing two-take Jonathan Frakes.
That's why the Frakes are so high in this film, and it's all that.
Battlestar Galactica.
You want to take a Brega, but they wouldn't let you.
So say we all. We're gonna do things a little bit differently tonight. We're gonna kind of like mix up hosting and kind of change it up by act. So Brittany is gonna handle everything for Act 1. So Brittany, Resistance is Futile. Take it away.
Act 1. The film starts with Picard still.
Do it.
Really?
I'm enjoying it.
No.
You don't want an audiobook reading? Act 1.
I like it.
The film starts with Picard.
Yeah, I was feeling it. Keep going.
I've been vetoed.
It's okay. I'll skip over the typos. Still haunted in his dreams by the events of his assimilation at the hands of the Borg, he's informed by Admiral Hansen that the Borg are once again on a course to attack Earth. But Jean-Luc already knows. Of course he does. When we get our first shot of the brand spanking new Enterprise E, as Picard informs the crew that Starfleet has ordered them to patrol the neutral zone. That's always where everything fun happens,
The neutral zone.
Always.
Instead of join up with the rest of the fleet for the defense of Earth. We later find out that this is because Starfleet feels Jean-Luc is compromised due to his assimilation. How do we feel about this opening, and how did it set the tone for the rest of the film?
Amazing. They just jump right into the film, and you get to like see the ship, and you see the crew, and you get a little bit of an intro, and then all of a sudden it's like Picard's, having flashbacks, and it looks really cool, and it feels really intense. Like the tension there is insane. And when he says he already knows, it's like, oh, okay. There's no fluff in this movie. That's what I really like about it. It's just from start to beginning, from beginning to end, it's just like relentless, but you don't need any extra storytelling. Even if you haven't seen this movie, I think that you could follow it, right? You don't need to have seen all the backstory. They get it in there.
That was really good. I was like, that's pretty much
Yeah, I'm like, yes, I agree.
Done.
Yeah, it gets in the action. I liked it because like you immediately see Picard like dealing with the fact that he was assimilated, even though it was 6 years ago. Like it's still something that like he remembers so vividly, and he still feels
Trauma.
that connection to the Borg, even though he's like not literally connected to them. That he's just like, I know it's Borg shit. They're up to no good.
Yeah.
It's Borg time.
Yeah. As much as awesome as they portrayed the Borg on TNG, Franks took it in a way more like scary movie, like alien sci-fi direction in that beginning, even during the whole movie, and that was amazing. It sets the tone for what we're going to see later, when the Borg take over the Enterprise. Spoilers. But seeing that long shot of the Enterprise E, I remember seeing it in theaters and just being like, oh my god, I love it so much.
You can tell when somebody loves Star Trek. They're just like, remember when they showed the ship though?
Yes. I was like, yes, and I was fine with it.
Did you see Deck 38?
Yeah. Oh my god, the whales.
I remember, growing up in Queens, going on the subway a lot, and in the subway, that's like where all the advertising is. And the first place I saw a poster, the teaser poster for, was in the 75th Street station, and it was the teaser of the Enterprise flying away with the cube, not with the cast on it. And the Enterprise obviously looked different. It was far away enough. You're like, ooh, it may be similar to Enterprise D, but maybe not. So you got like the littlest of hints. And then just the opening first with like the dream within a dream. That's straight out like horror movie crap. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And yeah, just like the fact that, like what Brittany and I think Aaron both said, just the fact that he knows already, he cuts off Hansen and is like, yes, I know the Borg, because he's still connected to them, right? Like he can hear them. He's never gonna fully be, not connected to the collective. So I thought that was great. And then I'm gonna just say it again, even though Eric already said it. The long shot with the slow roll of the TNG theme, just seeing that ship and that beautiful nebula backdrop, it was just like starship porn.
I loved how it opened, how we went from, the beautiful, slow, lilting music as the credits fade in, and then there's just almost no pause. It throws you into the movie with Picard in the flashback, in the dream. And we were kind of chatting in the Discord a little bit about the eye horror. I didn't actually notice until this time through, as they do the big pan back out of the Borg ship. It is kind of eye-looking, the interior design of the Borg ship, too. So, I mean, I kind of like the way they just throw you right into it.
I feel like they wanted you to see that the only thing to fear is Sphere itself.
Yeah.
Didn't like it?
No, I loved it.
Bridge.
Sorry.
I enjoyed that they showed Picard in the old uniform, which is nice and all, but it doesn't look as nice on the big screen as it did on TV. And then they immediately show the new, sexier gray tops with the color collars and stuff, and you're just like, yeah.
There was actually a fun fact that I omitted, probably because we're gonna have to save some time at the end. But this was actually the one and only time that, besides now in Star Trek Discovery, that the TNG uniform with the old TNG comm badge was shown, because they went to the new DS9 style comm badge in Generations. So that's a neat little fun fact. Real quick on our comments here, Sci-Fi Haven says the first place I saw a poster for Star Trek Discovery was at the Toronto Union Station.
That's where I saw it too.
Train stations. Maybe you're both there at the same time.
And NY Rowlite says I grew up in Queens too. Hello, Queens, baby. I was in Forest Hills.
Queens,
baby.
Peter Parker's from Queens.
He is.
Yes, he is.
Sorry, I work at a comic store. Anyway, so. Later, when the fleet has engaged the Borg, Picard decides to disobey his orders. Shocking, not me. When he realizes that they're on the losing end of the battle, and he joins the fight. The Enterprise arrives just in time to defend the Defiant and rescue its crew. When Admiral Hansen's flagship is destroyed, Picard takes command of the fleet and coordinates a strike that destroys the cube, with a rogue Sphere escaping and traveling back in time to try and prevent first contact from ever happening so Earth can be more easily assimilated. You know what? I thought you think that Hansen would be more of a hands-on guy, but he wasn't. So anyway,
I mean, he went to the battle, Brittany. That's pretty hands-on.
And he survived because he shows up later in
No.
Voyager.
Oh, wait. I thought that was Admiral Paris, no?
No, this is, well, Admiral Hansen was the one in Best of Both Worlds. In First Contact, it's Admiral Hayes. And then he shows up in Voyager later on when they reconnect via the Hirogen network.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Nice.
Anyway,
The
I just
more
want to
you
make
know.
a pun. So the Enterprise follows them back and destroys the sphere, but Borg have already transported a Borg and begin to assimilate the crew. Those moments when we start to realize the Enterprise is being assimilated. How did you guys feel watching that for the first time? Frakes did an excellent job making us feel the true horror.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what Eric said earlier with he took it to like an aliens level, walking through the corridor, and the way it looked, and it was almost alive. And I rewatched TNG at the start of quarantine because, you know, what the hell else were we doing? And that first episode with the Borg, the movie took it to like another place because they don't have as much stuff, and they're kind of creepy, but they're scary, man. They're scary, and they snatch people out of the hallways. The first few Borg, when they don't know they're on the ship yet, like there's the scream and the grab and pulling into
and you don't
Jeffrey's
see anything.
tube.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's tube.
Yeah, I think that's classic, just good storytelling.
There's
Also,
a new
we
makeup
should have drank the Borg spear that we made today because of the Borg spear in the show. What the hell were we doing with our
It's a
lives?
weekend theme. It's a
There you
weekend
go.
theme.
Keep drinking, everyone. Keep
Every
drinking.
day is the sphere.
Rob, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I really dig the new makeup.
Mhm.
The new Borg makeup. When they did, like, even the Dream flashback, the Locutus had the kind of, I don't even know what you call them.
The
Like
underskin.
metal
Star.
The cheeky
Veiny,
boys.
sticking
right?
out of the
Yeah.
side
Veiny,
piece.
yeah.
This thing.
And yeah, that thing. And you know, the super pale, veiny skin. It was really very body horror. You know?
This is when you
And,
go full Borg.
You know, and like a little bit later
just
on,
a half.
there's the severed arm, and they put the thing onto him, and it really did make it very horror, like you guys are saying.
Ready? Geordie LeBorg.
Whenever anything explodes out of your skin, it's gross, you know, and it's scary because, like, that's Alien too, right? When the alien pops out of his stomach, that's like full on nightmare stuff. Something just like, ah!
You know what I love about Star Trek?
Oh god.
In
Everything.
No, it's I'm being sincere here, but you're gonna hate me. So in Discovery, we have sphere data, and in this movie, we have a sphere and data.
Oh no.
It's
Jesus.
just amazing how it all comes together. Yeah.
My
Shut up,
comments was
Whitley.
correct.
One of my
We
favorite
ride.
things here, and I thought was a wonderful piece of directing from Jonathan Frakes, was when talking about the Jeffrey's tube. You see her crawling in, and you don't. This is one of the scenes that you don't actually hear or see anything happen, but you see the silhouette of like a Borg arm closing that like panel, like so locking her in. It's very subtle and just very, very creepy. Like you said, Aaron, very, very alien. I love that. And then just quickly going to our comments here, NYRL, I thought going to the space battle, which I think we'll talk about more. I thought it was cool that ILM slipped the Millennium Falcon into the fight scene against Borg, Han Solo to Earth's rescue. I actually didn't know that until today, and I've seen this movie countless times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't go at Han
I
Solo.
knew
this time.
R2D2 was in Star Trek 09. I didn't know the Millennium Falcon was in this.
Yeah. He looks at it and he's like, nope, I'm peacing out.
It's like the Cerritos leaving the Romulans to get killed by the Borg.
Yeah. Another thing that we didn't talk about is like the initial, like the temperature thing that Geordi says. You're just sitting there,
yeah.
you're like, oh shit, something is up, because you know the Enterprise is not just gonna be like, you know what, it's too cold in here. Let's
We're
up
gonna
the
be
temperature.
humid today.
Yeah.
I thought that was wild. And then Picard's like, "It's what temperature?" And I was just like,
And then he's just walking and talking like the West Wing. I'm just like, oh shit, things are going down.
His power walk was awesome. Heading back to Twitch real quick, or sorry, now it's Twitch and YouTube. Jay says they should have stolen crew members of the 1701E, similar to how the crew was taken one by one in the Voyager episode that he can't remember off the top of his head, but I think I know
what he's talking about.
Yeah. So, Jay also liked your joke, Brittany.
I was gonna say, oh, thanks. Speaking of Voyager, nice segue, because there was a cameo by Robert Picardo. It was also kind of a Bones throwback. What do we think this was fun? I personally loved it because I wasn't expecting it. I've only seen bits and pieces of this movie, and then I watched it and I was just like, wow, this is great. And then I was like, EMH.
It's
great.
so well done. Like
Yeah.
it makes sense. They redressed the Voyager, the
Sick bay.
medical. Thank you, sick bay.
Yeah.
Jesus, I can't say words. They redressed that set, and just seeing him in that uniform was cool. And he wasn't the only Voyager cameo in this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
get
it
there.
wasn't
But-
Neelix in here?
Neelix.
Yeah,
He
he's
An
was
actor that played
the
Neelix?
holodeck.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, no way, it's Neelix.
Yeah.
I liked what he's like. Would you like an analgesic cream?
Yeah. I was like, that's not even my functions. It's just like, you fucking do it. You did so much for Voyager.
That's line
Dr.
in the movie.
Crusher being like, just do a dance, sing a song, which, by the way, he would do. He loves to sing a song.
I'm a doctor, not a doorstop.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, bones.
I remember seeing this in theaters, and it was one of the first times I remember an audience laughing as a whole in like a sci-fi movie or something like that. And it was such a good experience. Like this movie really it was really for the fans, and fans like loved it when we saw it. Like at least when I saw it in theaters.
Another thing I loved was like the way that they threw the Defiant in here, because as you're supposed to know, like the Defiant was made to fight the Borg, and then they were just like, nah, we're just gonna send you to DS9 because the Borg aren't a threat right now. So the fact that the Defiant actually gets to go fight the Borg, not very well, but they do.
Little.
Right.
Oh, that joke.
Rude.
So funny.
And you have Worf at the helm. It's like, today is a good day to die.
Prepare ramming speed.
Yeah, that whole sequence, that whole space battle is one of the coolest short but sweet,
It
right?
is.
So you think it was Warfit?
Oh, God.
100% Warfit.
All right, guys, have a good night.
I always believe him, though, Michael Dorn. Like, I believe everything he says. You know, he's like,
Yeah.
prepare ramming speed. And I like the guy at the front console who's a little over it and ready to die. And then he's like, oh, good, it's the Enterprise. Because he's like slumped over. Yeah, he was just ready. Like, Worf is like, ramming speed. This guy's like, let's just fucking die.
He's like, let's just roll over.
Yeah, Ensign Adam Scott from Parks and Rec.
Yep. So good.
Classic.
Have
So,
you-
go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you seen that thing where Michael Dorn talks about his original interview for Next Gen?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember where I saw it, but he said something like he showed up to the interview audition, and there's a whole bunch of people in the room all waiting to do the job, and it's a bunch of his buddies, and they're all, hey, Mikey, how you doing? But he decided to do it totally in character from the time he came in the door. So he kind of just looks at his buddy and goes, fine, and sits down.
Amazing. He's like, I am Worf.
Oh,
man.
that's amazing.
It worked.
So good. Mm-hmm.
It did.
So sorry, I was just remembering. I was just remembering.
guys,
I did
what are you doing later?
the last con I was at. He was like in the table next to me while I was waiting to meet Troy Baker.
Mhm.
So I'm just remembering. I kept looking over. I was like, it's Worf. Like in my mind, I was just like, that's Worf.
He's really nice. I used to work at Fan Expo in Toronto, and
Yeah.
like I would go backstage and meet, not just randomly run into people, and he was one of the nicer celebs. Celebs.
Those
He was very
sea
nice while I was waiting in line for somebody else. I was like, hello. I like you in the Star Trek.
The saddest one is I saw Adama sitting at a table and no one was in his line. I was like, why is no one talking to him? So I was just like, run. I'm
yelled
working,
at
I'm not
him
allowed to
across
pay
the
you.
convention floor.
Wait,
So
Eddie
say we all
Olmos?
once.
Yeah, Eddie almost.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you guys,
That's
like,
crazy.
we have to have a
PSG
separate podcast, but my
Yeah.
God, the nicest person,
He is.
like
He
at our
is.
Battlestar parties back in the day at Dragon Con, like he got up on the stage, there's like a couple thousand people in the room, we're all drunk, and he's just like gives us like Adama-esque speech, and then out of nowhere and he goes, so say we all, everybody's like, so say we all, and then he's like, and then he does the whole thing, he's like, so
Yeah.
say we all, we're all, so say we all, let's go fight the Cylons, yeah.
Let's
Anyway.
fucking go.
And then-
One of my crowning achievements, I think I've told the story on the show at Dragon Con, either 08 or 09. He was at a bar with a couple of his friends. I think it was Pulse. And I just walked by and I wasn't even bothering him. He was just like, you want a drink? And he poured tequila down my throat. Like, I don't mean like he gave me a shot. He literally poured tequila down my throat.
Good
Sounds
man.
about right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pulse
We're
bar
so
where the
fun.
action happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of other actors I love, we get a brief introduction to Alfred Woodard, or Woodard, I guess. I don't know.
Woodard.
I've
I
never
think it's
said the name
Alfred
out loud.
Woodard, yeah.
Woodard? Okay. I was just like, I've never said that name out loud. As Lily and James Cromwell, James Cromwell as Cochrane. Do we like that he was written as a drunk? He
Yes.
was
Yeah.
in it just
Yes.
for the money?
100%.
What's
Yeah.
more realistic than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it totally threw out the old original series thing where he was like a saint living on a planet by himself. This was so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then bringing him
Well,
back in Enterprise, having
Yeah.
grown to
Mhm.
saintly proportions. But yeah.
I just like that, you know, it's like with any person who people look up to and have a different idea of history. Like, dude, like we all know now, like George Washington was not like the greatest dude in the world. Yeah, Zefram Cofran was a womanizer and a drunk, but he created warp drive. Like, you know, I think it was great. I think it was a really bold choice.
Wait, he was a womanizer and a drunk? And his name was Cock Rum?
Oh, there you go. Hit the button.
Oh no, not worth it. It's just not
Okay.
worth it.
Gotcha.
Come
We need more
on, I
buttons.
connected the
Okay,
dots.
fine, I'll give you this one.
I want to know what the hell is going on.
Very good.
So
very
do
good.
I. So
Julian, I
Rum.
agree with everything you said.
does the audience like my Borg puns? I don't know if they can see
We
it, but
love
Yeah.
it's
your
pretty funny.
puns,
A
but we
couple of
also like
people
to
said they
heckle
like
you
your
about
jokes,
them.
so yeah, you're on fire.
I can't see what the right one says. The Borg wouldn't know fun. Something.
If they assimilated an amusement park. Anyway, this is just what I found on Google in 5 minutes before we recorded.
I'm in my favorite place, the bar.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anyway. Act 2.
Going off Cromwell. Yeah, I think having that veteran TNG and Star Trek actor come back and just be this awesome character, and he did it so well. Like the vulnerability of him finding out that he becomes this like icon to everyone, and the way that he ran away and stuff, it felt so real. He was so real, and that's what made it.
Statue?
And it was so effortless how he played it, too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Like, at
good.
no point did it ever feel forced. He did feel like a drunk who's like, oh my God, what is happening?
And that
And he's perfectly cast. Perfectly cast.
oh, and like just the intro with him and Deanna drinking, one of my favorite Star Trek scenes of all time, and Deanna just falling over.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I really enjoyed Deanna in this movie.
Yes.
And Will Riker, that's one of the things that I think is written well about him is, you know, even though he's always like, you know, out and about with women, he's always respectful of them in general, and like the way he's not threatened by this interaction between her and Cochrane, and he never has been in the show either. He always finds it amusing because he knows women can handle themselves, and I've always liked that, and you see that in this movie too, so that always makes me happy.
I like the scene where Picard and Data are like touching the metal, and then she's like, "Do you three need a room?" or whatever. She's like, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, Troy."
Mood.
Mood.
All right. Act 2. On the planet's surface, Troy has had to endure getting wasted with Cochrane as Riker and crew later try and convince him to go along with the Phoenix flight. On board the Enterprise, strike teams, one led by Picard, begin to engage the Borg as they try and head to engineering. Their biotubes would destroy the organic parts of all Borg drones, killing them. The plan ultimately fails. Data is captured by the Borg and later discover it's the Queen who wants him. Picard, meanwhile, is captured by Lily, who was beamed aboard to treat her injuries. With Picard
I
trying...
like Lily.
Yeah, I like her a lot too. With Picard trying to navigate Lily, Data being seduced by the ability to feel, air quotes,
Sure.
and Cochrane being difficult on the surface, this could have easily gone wrong on all sides. How do you guys feel about how the script and Frakes made that sense of dread and possible defeat feel like it could actually happen?
In Data's case, I think it went right on all sides, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
He was like, "Data, do I want a Data?" Maybe.
I thought that Lily, and I've always said this, I think she steals the film in the best way. Like
Mhm.
out of all these characters, and like you said, this movie's for the fans. It's a bit of fan service, but it's well written, and we have all of these strong personalities, and she stands up next to Picard, and I think steals it, like in a good way.
Yeah.
She's very.
Yeah.
We know her story. You care about her, and we're sort of the audience following. Like we're her, right? She's
Yeah.
experiencing this for the first time. These little moments they cut out from this very like intense plot where she gets to the force field and seeing Earth. It's like this beautiful moment, and I love how they did that. Everything's so well balanced in this movie, but
Yeah.
she's fucking great. So
Yeah, she goes toe to toe with like Picard, not like in a combative way, but like in such a playful and interesting like dynamic. And
Mhm.
I wasn't like, once again, I only saw parts of this when I was like real young, so I was like, I just basically haven't seen this movie before, and I love this actress, and I've seen other movies she's in. So when she popped up, I was like, oh, she's the mom from Scrooge. Like, this is awesome. And like, she just like all of her lines are amazing. The fact that she brings up the like that in the future we don't have to like do things for money, and he's like, yeah, that's not what our like civilization is built on. And like her face, she's just like, oh my god, like this is what we can be. And even when she says you broke your little ships, like I was like howling. I was like, no way. I like paused it. You saw my Twitter. I wasn't even drunk, and I was like, ah! It was great. So yeah, I love her character, and like it's sad that she's just like in this film for a little bit, because I kind of want to be like, can you just be in Star Trek like all the time?
Is there
I
any
did
furthering
like it.
stories for her, like in the books or anything?
Not that I know of.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Can I also just real quick say that I appreciate that it wasn't a love story between her and Picard
Yes.
either. Like, as a woman, that is the most annoying thing on the planet, when it's like, here's the one female character, and guess what? Her whole purpose is to be in love with someone. Like, it can be part of the story, and that's fine, but when it's every story, it's like, ah! And that wasn't part of this at all. It was like survival and, sort of understanding and, just sort of existing. And I liked it a lot.
I'm gonna be the
Uh-oh.
bad guy.
Snake in the grass.
Oh.
I thought, and listen, I love Alfred Woodard. I really do. I think she's fantastic. I love her. And listen, I'm not shitting on this movie. This is my second favorite Star Trek movie. I think at
Second
points her
favorite.
acting is very over the top and not a great way. But
Boo.
hold on. I know people are
Where
kill
and
me.
how?
Just
You
like
mean in the beginning when she's
like-
first like, I'm gonna fucking shoot you all? Like, because
that, and when she's like, who are your people? And it's just like very over the top. And then when she's like, oh, and what about Ensign Lynch? Did you mean to do that? I was just like, but big butt, not a big butt, big butt. I absolutely think that she is brilliant in the scene, and that's getting into Act 3, but I'll say it anyway, where she confronts Jean-Luc. Like, she is so good there. It is one of my favorite scenes in any movie. So she's good. It's not my favorite thing that she's ever done. That's all.
I was just gonna say, let's teleport. Well, it wouldn't work right now because you love sci-fi and you love Star Trek. But assuming you didn't know about any of these things, or like interstellar flight, or that anything like this could exist, and you're suddenly people arrive and you think you have to fight them, and they kidnapped you, and you wake up in their sick bay, and then you're being stormed in
Brittany
and attacked
never
by
lets me
Borg.
have my opinion.
Borg,
Never.
yes, scary
It's
aliens.
realistic acting for her character, not
Agree-
having known anything about the future, and she's being attacked by Borg, and she's like, "Who the fuck are you?
Well,
Who the fuck are they? What the fuck is
reaction-
happening?"
Right
I'm not
after
talking about
World
her
War
re-
III,
I'm
and
not talking about her reactions. I'm talking about the acting itself. The reactions are on point. The acting and the way the lines are delivered.
you're wrong.
Do you know that reacting has the word
Wrong.
acting in it?
Everybody, let's take a vote. Who thinks Julian's wrong? Hand up.
That's
1, 2,
fair.
3,
Okay, no,
4.
I respect you.
Okay, I
It's
respect
just
you
funny
too.
when
I
you're
just
like
want
her
you to know you're
reactions, and I'm
wrong.
like, her reactions is her acting.
Yeah, everybody's telling
She
you
was
I'm wrong. It's fine.
reacting.
No, it's okay.
That's fine.
You said you
Um,
loved her and she's great in the role, so I'm just being a jerk to you.
The one thing I will say is that one thing I really liked is that this movie really doesn't get happy or things go right until the very end. And you could literally think, to answer that question, that this could be the end of the TNG movies, and the end of their story is them having to stay on Earth to make sure that history does repeat itself. So I thought Frakes did a good job. I thought the script was brilliant. Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Cat says hi, everyone.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Cat.
Hi, Beppo.
So, what did we think about the statue talk?
Not as
so
important as O'Brien.
Cochrane having to pee and eventually getting stunned. That's a good-
Geordie's whole thing was like, he's like, I don't detect a leak. Like, those are the bits of the movie that are so good.
They are.
I love Geordie in this movie.
so good.
Like, first
Even-
of all,
even just-
visorless Geordie, so you're like, look at them eyes. And then the jacket and the boots, I was like, I need this entire outfit.
Especially
That
at,
was
Just the
great.
random Enterprise crewers and Barclay showing up and fanboying and fangirling over him.
yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, it's
cried.
nice to see LaForge get his moment, especially after what happened to him in Generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that line. I went to Zephram Cochrane High School, and Cochrane's just like, oh man.
You're
say-
standing on the almost the exact spot where your statue is. 50
Statue?
feet, made out of marble.
You could almost say his education LaForged his way.
Oh.
Shut up, Wesley.
Allow it.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shake the head, shake the head.
For a minute, when you had that video, I was like, I swear to God, if it's Patrick Stewart saying "Shut up, Brittany," I'm gonna fucking die. And then it was
That
Doug
would
Jones,
be-
and I was like, I am dying.
Oh my God, I bet if he were on Cameo, it'd probably be like $1 million. Like,
Would be
Oh, yeah.
expensive, yeah.
And he probably wouldn't say "Shut up, Brittany."
No, he probably wouldn't.
He'd be like, "This
It's
is
a pipe
below
dream.
me.
be
This is
quiet,
beneath me.
Brittany.
I'm a sir."
Any final thoughts on this
Jean-Luc
sequence? No.
Not right now.
No. All right.
The statue one?
Yeah, the statue one.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. All right.
Not as important as O'Brien's statue.
Nope.
It's right beside it.
Yeah, right? Side by side, the most important men in the universe.
Later, when Picard realizes the Borg are building a beacon to the Enterprise deflector dish, Later, Picard realizes that the Borg are building a beacon on the Enterprise deflector dish so they can contact the Borg in the Delta Quadrant. Picard, Worf, and Hawk. Hawk.
Our Hawk.
I know. I was like, Hawk.
Maybe it is our Hawk.
Maybe that's why he's not
I
here.
know, I literally paused and I was like, Hawk's in this movie?
I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah. So Picard, Worf, and Hawk go to take a stroll, as Jean-Luc puts it, spacewalking in an attempt to fight the Borg. What did we think about the zero-G fight? The deflector shield, Meg, everything. Meg locks. I love this sequence.
It was so cool. And then
The sword. I
forget who said it when we were doing our watch along, but it's like maybe it was you, Rob. Like you love how Worf always, or it just happens to have a bladed weapon with him.
He's just got it tucked into the back of his shirt, like,
Hey.
just in case.
Yeah.
He's always got one clinging on to his side.
Oh,
And in an outfit that you like, you know how they don't let them take anything up to the ISS that could even be like remotely flammable or anything. I feel like the protocol would be like, don't put anything near you that's sharp while wearing these outfits. And Worf's like, nah, I need my stabby sword.
Yeah,
I
like
have it.
that Borg did not cut him very like sharp.
Yeah.
It was like
I
an
guess you can-
accident.
I guess you can say they weren't a Worfy adversary.
I kind of question the starship design of putting the manual release thing literally on the outside of the
yeah,
ship.
but who's gonna go there besides in this situation?
Yeah. It's
But
definitely a plot
everybody did a
device.
Spacewalk, you know?
I loved it though, right? Like
It was
you know,
fun, yes.
The view was cool, and also I like the character of Hawk because they introduced this new guy, and right from the beginning of the film, you're like, oh, I like this guy. Like he felt like he was part of that group, and I feel like that's not an easy group to break into.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So good job from that
Maybe-
actor who's done like a billion things.
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say,
Neil-
baby Neil McDonough.
Neil
Jamie
McDonough, yay.
So he could walk the walk and hawk the hawk.
there you go. And
Oh,
that
we
guy
gotta
has
use that
not
with Hawk
aged
sometime.
in like 25 years.
Oh,
He has
God.
not. He's
One fun trivia: he was supposed to be Star Trek's first openly gay character, but it got cut from the script.
I did hear that, which is
Bamboozled.
annoying.
Berman.
I will.
Yeah.
Berman.
I
Probably
mean, you
Berman.
can kind of see it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their suits they were wearing, the spacewalk suits, ended up being used in Voyager later.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff from this movie that got shipped off to the Voyager sets.
Why would you, right?
DS9,
Yeah.
I think, too, right?
Yes,
Spec-
DS9 got the hand-me-down uniforms.
Yep.
Voyager got the hand-me-down everything else.
oh,
on our comments here, NY Ratlight says, shame they killed Hawk. It would have been nice to have introduced and kept a new bridge character.
yeah,
And Mag says, I knew Hawk was done for right from the get-go.
yeah. We're like, he's too pretty to stay with the
Yeah,
rest of them.
yeah.
He was so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty.
Gay rights.
Yes.
All right.
When
So,
are they gonna kill the
sorry.
gays?
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm just.
Well, we didn't even know. Like,
Bury your
yeah.
gays.
All right.
Oh, we
Who
knew.
counts?
We knew, Eric.
I never
There's
knew.
subtext.
Yeah. So this movie, as is the case with all the TNG films, is very data heavy. What do we think about the film's C plot and the Queen's attempt to both assimilate and seduce him? Seduce.
It's
Mm.
very 90s. Like, wait, why was she so enamored with him? Except that he's his own unique thing or whatever. And she was trying to get him to release the codes. So I guess that was the ultimate goal. But what a
Didn't
weird
just want him
way
to. She didn't just want him to release the codes, okay? She
God.
wanted a full-on Borgasm.
Oh God.
Oh God.
That was
That's-
actually really
That
good.
was the best one. But like, what a 90s weird way to go about trying to get to this goal. It was like, I'm gonna sex you. I'm gonna sex you into
I'm
doing
gonna
what I
sex
want.
you hard, you
I do think it
right.
was
yellow
kind of
android.
interesting. I do think it was kind of interesting though that they kind of tried to juxtapose her being this kind of sultry character, but physically she's so repulsive. You know, she's got
Speak
all
for
this
yourself.
I was gonna say she's pretty sexy.
Dude,
You're
she's
joking.
all veiny and
Did you guys see me freak out on Twitter when I realized it's the mom from the OA?
Yeah.
yes, I did.
Because when I watched the OA, I was like, why does this lady look so familiar? And I didn't realize she was the
She's
board
the
queen. So then when I watched this movie, I was like, her face looks so familiar. And I was like, OA mom. And like my brain exploded.
She's one of those actresses who's been in a million.
Oh, she has.
Yeah, she has like very defined like cheekbones. Like her
Very.
facial
Yeah.
structure is so easy to see. So that's why like I never knew her name, but I was like, she's so familiar. I feel like she was a very prominent role in something. And then I was like, board
She
queen.
played the Lady Jessica in the Sci-Fi Channel Dune miniseries.
Oh
Also-
yeah.
Really?
That's what I
forgot
also
about
know
that.
her from. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
I was just gonna say, think about this whole subplot of her and you know, her sort of the look. She's like more sexy for no reason really. And the whole plot with Data. Now flip that role. Say that Data was Data more like a female Data and it was a male. Like, would we ever see that outfit in the same way? Like, would he be like shirtless Borg?
Would he have
like,
Borg tits? Probably not.
Yeah, and like Borg, you know, those like I'm not gonna say what
Hey
they're
baby,
called.
I'm on board for anything you want to do tonight.
Yeah, and then the whole plot was him trying to seduce her. Like, I think it would feel very different to us, and I think that's sort of part of the '90s thing that I'm getting at is like
Oh
there's
yeah.
a very like specific like female. We have to have a woman in a bodysuit. I don't know why Star Trek bourbon, but
Do you
There
think
you are.
maybe it was meant as a reversal of '90s power dynamics?
no, I think it was just '90s
No, it's
general
Just
power.
hoarded 90s power dynamics.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically 7 of 9.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean it in a sense of like most '90s shows and movies are like man in position of power manipulating woman.
I mean-
But see, this was like fetishizing opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
He was
you're
kind of
right.
like, I'll be on top though, and you're like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
You're like, I should be into this, but I'm mostly concerned.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, don't get me wrong, still my favorite movie, but there are parts of it that are like, ooh, that's very 90s.
The blowing
Yeah.
on the
Almost
skin.
like is it
Yeah.
dated?
Yes,
You're
yes,
saying
it
it's
is. It's dated.
And
Oh
Where
my
were they harvesting that skin from?
Oh,
One of the other
the other
Probably
crew
off
the
members.
crew.
Exactly where you think they were.
Yeah, that's pretty
Um,
gross.
NYRLite says, not sure about Data's luck that his two sexual experiences were drunk Tasha and the Borg Queen. Well,
Oh man,
Powerful women he likes.
yeah, powerful women. Yeah.
exactly.
Just this will be edited out, but Eric, apparently the YouTube video stopped.
Oh no.
No, come back.
Pause for YouTube.
Come back to us.
This is what happens when you listen to us live. You get to see all this
Mhm.
Technical difficulties.
Stuff that'll be
Yeah.
cut and
computer. Fix
Oh,
this
I
shit.
wanted to say a pun, but I'll wait.
That's weird. It says it's
You don't want
live.
the pun to get cut.
oh, it says it's like
I'm
I'm watching it live.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It might have just been a connection issue on his end.
Okay.
All right.
Can I make my
well-
pun real quick?
Yes. No.
Do you think Data moved on from that relationship, or did he find her unborgettable?
Oh my god. Okay, well I'm gonna move on from that pun.
going on?
That's what I want to know.
I'm moving on from that pun into Act 3. So, with Cochrane recovered from his first phaser blast and the launch prep begins for the Phoenix flight aboard the Enterprise, all hope is pretty much lost. Worf suggests they abandon ship and activate the auto-destruct. Picard, in a compromised emotional state, calls Worf a coward, and Worf threatens to kill him if he was any other man.
If
you were
any other man.
I'll kill you where you stand. What did we think about the exchange between these two here, who are otherwise very close and have a mutual respect and friendship in this moment? Like, what do we think about that?
I think Worf was.
Is great.
yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. No, go ahead, Rob. You're our guest. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I thought it was great tension, and I thought it was all the more tense just because it was these two characters.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing about it that throws me a little bit is DS9 was running at the same time, and if you were any other man, and he seems to kind of respect Cisco by this point.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's fantastic. It works for the movie. It works for these two characters.
I think if it had been Cisco, he might have actually like hit him or punched him or something because he has a deeper relationship with Picard.
Yeah,
I think he has
At
a
this
lot
point,
of respect
maybe,
for
yeah.
Cisco,
Yeah.
but yeah.
maybe.
By the end of DS9.
Is this
it's more
before or
so.
after Cisco defends him in that Klingon tribunal where the Klingons try to frame him for the murder of before?
This ran during DS9 season 5.
Okay. All right.
I do enjoy that every movie has to come up with some bullshit reason that Worf is rejoining the crew
Yeah.
every
They're
time.
like, who do we love? Michael Dorn. Let's bring him back.
I feel bad for the guy who was ever like whoever was at Tactical, and they're just like, oh hey, Worf, take over Tactical.
Yeah, I was saying that in the Discord. The guy who worked his ass off his whole career to get the tactical position on the bridge of the Enterprise and get lost. Worf's here.
Yeah.
Is it weird?
off.
Is it weird that O'Brien didn't get called back for any of these movies?
No, he was no.
He was
He's
I
busy.
felt bad.
Now.
What role
Kind
would
of
he have had?
supporting
though?
character.
We'll see
for
him
most
ever so
Transporter
often.
chief.
Transporter.
He just would have been an accent in the Jeffries tube.
They just
you
would have
know?
brought him back as a statue in Fast Forward.
He would have been crawling around, but he's like the guy in the Jeffries tube not attacked by Borg, and he would have been like, oh fuck. Like,
He's been there the whole movie crawling around the
Exactly.
entire time.
Obviously, they don't have to deal with her on a daily basis, but you're getting so much love in our comments right now. Brittany is on fire. Brittany is the absolute best. Brittany is unborgettable, and Brittany is the best. I agree.
There
Oh,
you go.
good, because I had another pun. I was gonna say Worf was going pretty Picard ball on
I
him.
think that means that I could just quit. I think that I'm going to hand over the reins to you,
No,
and
I
I'm gonna.
need you.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Oh, I'm tired.
I was like, Julian, don't.
We're
We
all
will rest. We will rest this week.
We will rest.
collective. We are out of our collective minds. But anyway,
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I want to talk about Worf and Picard. This scene I don't think would have worked with any other two actors or any other characters from Star Trek like having this conversation. We're talking about 7 seasons of them and like very deep shit that's happened over the course of those 7 seasons of TNG. The mutual respect,
Deep shit 9.
the disagreements they've had over the years too. Worf has made some pretty poor decisions aboard the Enterprise, just like he has on DS9. But Picard has always been there for him. So that line has so much depth. I mean, like if you were any other man, because Worf is like at the end of the day, he's a Klingon. Like if he feels like someone is questioning his honor, like he's gonna challenge him to the death. So
Yeah, he's
Especially
pretty,
Picard.
rigid in his
Yeah.
ways.
yeah, I
Especially
mean,
Picard, who was his
Chadich.
Chadich and
Chadich.
his family honor and all that.
To
Yeah.
each their own.
oh one of my favorite things in TNG is when he's like, the Chidich will be silenced, and I was like, oh shit, Worf.
I'm gonna teach you a lesson today, kids.
but I also really like the apology at the end where he's like, I apologize for some of the things I said, and Worf's like, some.
So, his little one-liners in this are so great when he's little.
Yeah.
That moment where Riker says
Oh, you
something
still remember
to
how
him.
to fire phasers, right?
Yeah, and the look he gives, and I like that he's like, oh, there's something about Riker and the way he like messes with Worf.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh yeah.
like a brother or something.
He
It's
like
just
pokes at the bear a bit, and you're like,
Yeah.
Jay said on the comments, I think the relationship between Picard and Worf set up the relationship between Michael and Giorgio. Do you guys agree with that?
Ooh,
I can see
like
that. The parallels.
I like
Yeah,
it.
maybe I can see that.
Any other comments about that, or are we gonna move on to the next little bit?
We're moving on up.
We're gonna move
Moving
it
on up.
All right. So this leads to Lily confronting Picard in the observation lounge, and the infamous line.
The
Someone?
line must be drawn here. No further.
Oh, I was gonna say, get off my bridge.
And I will make them pay
Hey.
for what they've done.
Blow
Very
the
nice.
ship.
But I actually love the build up to it when he's like, they invade our space and we fall back.
Mm.
They assimilate entire worlds and we fall
We
back.
fall back.
Mhm.
Oh, chills.
Oh, yeah, I just got.
Or
Ugh.
even leading into it when they're out on the bridge, and I know we're rewinding a little bit to Lily here, but she's kind of like to Crusher, none of this shit. She follows him in.
Yeah.
But the loyalty of the crew is also like, I
Mhm.
mean, and he is wrong, but that loyalty he's earned that with them. So, I just wanted to finish what we had here, where we said this is such a well-written sequence, and the Moby Dick references, the little ships, you broke your little ships, and just the acting in this was so unbelievable. It was,
Yeah.
this was, if it wasn't a Star Trek film, it would still be an amazing film. There's just so. There's so many references, and it's something we can all relate to, right? And he's so deeply traumatized, and I feel like in the 90s, men not dealing with their trauma was we didn't even talk about it, but I think it's still relevant now. And she is confronting him, saying, "You need to deal with this and do the right thing." And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's such a crazy emotional weight there. And that scene to me even stuck out where I was just like, wow, this is like, and I know that line and I know that scene, like I've seen parts of it before and stuff, but like to watch it again after seeing like the whole movie with it, I was just like, wow, like they go off at each other, like they build up like back and forth, like blasting back and forth with their emotion, just raw emotion, and then he just, you know, completely just keeps going, and he's like, and we fall back and I'm gonna draw the line no further, and you're just like, oh my god, like Picard he's done. He's done dealing with all this set in our ways thing. Like, he knows better than anybody else. He's been Borg. He knows what they're capable of. He's not going to underestimate them because that's what everybody else does.
And then
it's crazy.
And then he pulls out the perfect Captain Nemo quote just to like
Ahab.
top it all. Ahab. Sorry, I saw Nemo in the chat. And
Jay Krabs up said Nemo.
My bad. And it just like perfectly like the resolution that he came to, or not resolution, the epiphany he came to.
At the quote's like what, like and he sat upon the whale's home,
Yeah.
or something like that, and blah blah blah.
And I love that after that, she's just like, well, I never actually read the story. I was just referring to it. But it also shows that like he's one of those people, he like reads all these stories and he knows these things, but it still took her to get in his face to get him to realize this is what this means to me. And he like recites the line. She's just like, okay, fam, whatever it means to you, but like I needed to get you there.
Yeah.
She read the Cliff Notes like the rest of us did in high school.
I know what you're talking about.
She was like, call me Ishmael, another 800 pages. He gets the whale in the end? I don't know.
All right, guys. So this leads to Picard realizing the error of his ways and his order to abandon and destroy the Enterprise. Before he leaves, he must rescue Data, and meanwhile, the entire crew man their escape pods and head to Earth. Meanwhile, in Montana, the Phoenix has risen. Ooh, did you write that, Julian? That's nice.
Thanks.
The Phoenix has risen, and we have liftoff. Back aboard the Enterprise, Picard offers himself up to the Borg Queen in Data's place. Data has already pledged himself to her, and as the Queen and Data attempt to destroy the Phoenix, Data plays the Borg Queen and intentionally misses, breaking the biotubes, killing all the Borg and engineering, including the Queen, and then severs the hive mind to the rest of the Borg ship.
Speaking of run-on sentences, I went a little long.
I was hanging in there, man. I was like, just keep reading.
That's how I felt when the Borg were like slowly like.
So what'd you guys think about that? There's a little bit more here, but I think that there was a lot happening in that moment. Like, we have them going up in the ship on the Phoenix, which, by the way, I thought it was a little weird that Riker and LaForge got in the ship, because
Lily
like
wasn't there,
really,
right? I assume
but
Lily was
they're
going
still
to be
jumping in on history. I was like, they were like, I'm getting in this fucking.
They wanted to. They want to be like, yeah, we were on this.
Yeah.
And the rest of the people in the missile complex died at the beginning.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I also love how you can like, just when you're watching a movie, you're also think of like, how did they shoot this scene? And like, you can tell they're just like holding on there, and then somebody's like shaking them,
or
like,
they're shaking themselves.
Yeah, well, they don't move at the same time. Like at one point, like Geordi stops moving for a little bit, and I'm like, "You're not shaking, bro." And then he's like back, and I'm just
There's
like,
no gimbal.
He had a reading rainbow moment. He was like thinking of something else.
You guys, I did a show. I promise I'll stop sidebarring, but I did a show when I first moved to LA and worked as a background actor called The Last Ship, and I swear to God, it was just Voyager, except on. I'll point myself out if you want to see little glimpses of me.
Yes.
But it's basically like Voyager, but now and in the water, and like now because it's like a big virus that kills everybody. But the thing that happens in every episode is we get attacked, and we're in like the CIC, which is like the combat center. And so when you get attacked and you're on a ship, there's a lot of like, you've been hit. And we learned to do the shake, and they actually, when they taught us how to do it, they called it the Star Trek shake, which I was like, yes.
You're like, we're gonna tilt the camera, and then you're gonna go.
Yeah, they shake the camera, and then they tell you, they're like, you get hit from this side, so you're gonna shake forward first, and it's like like this hard, and so everybody, and then when someone new would come into it, because we had like a consistent group of background, because that's smart. A new person would come in and they wouldn't shake right, and we'd be like, come over here, we'll teach you.
You're like, you're not wobbling right.
It's like, ready? We're being attacked.
So going back to Picard talking to Lily and him saying that he's going to go save Data. I was actually watching this with my 6-year-old, and she turns to me. She's like, "What about all the other people? Is he not going to save them?" And I was like, I guess they're too far gone."
Well,
like,
I mean, I think like Jean-Luc was a special case on like unassimilate. Like, would they be able to unassimilate the entire ship?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I was just like, go away.
I loved that he needed his music, like we talked about with our Strange New Loop. I just like I can't lift off without it. Like I love that. The one thing I'm gonna say that was a bit of a gripe for the scene with Jean-Luc and Data and the Borg Queen is I never believed for a second that Data turned. It was very much like, okay, like Data's gonna like stab her right in the back. Like he's just playing a game.
I mean, he'll stab her all right.
He thought about it for a
0.0.82 seconds. But that whole sequence was really cool. The fact that like she was like, "Ooh, like I get a victory. I'm getting Locutus back. Like he's gonna be, you know, our connection to like the human race again."
He's like, I can do you one Locutor. His name is Data.
I remember that whole bio things like scaring the shit out of me after I saw the movie. However many times I was like, "Oh man, like what if stuff like that's real? Like, is there stuff out there that could do that to the human body? Like, should I have to worry about like bioterrorism?"
I mean, yes, always worry about bioterrorism. But yeah, there's acids, lots of fun flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah. So at the end of the film, we have Cochrane making the first warp flight, and then the Vulcans see us going by, and they initiate first contact, which was awesome to watch. And you know, we basically not everybody lives. They lived. So, what did we think of the finale of this film?
I like the Vulcans taking shots and then Cochrane putting on his music and the dude standing up and he's like, "What the fuck is this shit? I'm going to sit back down and I'm going to drink whatever you just gave me because I need it because this shit ain't good."
Yeah, he's like, Vulcan dance.
Oh, his dance is so good.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, that's your first contact.
I think
I do the robot at least.
The Vulcan coming down the ramp and the salute and the handshake, I think it was exactly as sort of on-screen triumphant as it needed to be, because this was 96, so this was 30 years of Star Trek, and that's kind of a pivotal point in Star Trek history that we had never seen before up till that point.
I feel like it was very close encounters.
A little bit, yeah. The ship kind of looked a little bit like it,
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, what did you think?
Loved it.
There you go.
Thumbs up.
The end is kind of like really fast though, right? It's like, okay, everybody's back. You're the Vulcans. We're going back to the 24th century. Peace out. See you later.
And you're like, we did it. We made first contact.
The Lily Picard goodbye was also very sweet.
Mhm.
And my daughter, who continued to watch it with me, was like, "Oh, they're gonna kiss." I'm like, "Nope, they're not. They're not. It's not that kind of relationship." And I was like,
"Yeah."
She's like, "Oh,
see, and that's what movies have taught girls. Oh, they're gonna kiss. See, I'm always gonna hit this point. But it's okay. They can just be friends.
Yeah.
It always bugs me so much about Star Trek that like I know Jean-Luc Picard's supposed to be like his family's French and stuff, but like even just like the one kiss on the cheek, I'm just like, but you wouldn't do that in France. Like I know he doesn't speak French. He's not really French. His name's just Jean-Luc, and that's pretty much as French as he gets. But like,
yeah. You have feelings.
It depends on where you're from, how many times you kiss on the cheeks and stuff. But I'm just like ugh.
Just real quick, going back to our comments here, and the kind of just the whole feel of the movie. NY Rallight has a fun fact. We'll have more fun facts in just a little bit. The original script had Riker staying on the Enterprise fighting the Borg with Picard on the planet with Cochrane. I'm glad they reversed the roles and increased the focus on the Enterprise plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could never see. Yeah, that would have been weird if the roles were reversed.
Yeah,
I don't
Riker
know.
and Data at the end. Yeah.
It wouldn't make much sense.
Plus, it gave Riker more to do, like on his own, like
to
kind of step up. Like, I mean, he's already number one.
Yeah,
but it's
and
Picard Lily and Picard Data are kind of the beating heart of this movie.
Yeah.
And Spotted Giraffe said this was her first contact. This was the first time she watched the film, and she loved it. But she said, being the badass that she is, that I would have blown up that ship in the first hour, but that's okay.
Oh wow, I love Spotted Giraffe.
Yeah.
Good giraffe.
Yeah. We love all of you patrons. The Discord Collective.
Are we good to move on to our polls and the mailbag?
Yes. Let's go
All
to
right.
that subspace
Well,
poll.
then it is indeed time for the subspace poll and our mailbag.
Hailing frequencies are open.
And we asked you on Twitter where First Contact ranks for you in the Trek film library and what it means to you. And 22% said it was the best Trek film. 65% it was the best TNG film. 10% said it's fine. And 3% said it's borging. So
I didn't say that even though it's a pun, so.
yeah.
I was shocked by this. I really think it. I know some people say The Undiscovered Country is the best film.
Or
but
Khan, yeah.
Yeah, listen, also, hot take, I think Khan is not as good as everyone says it is.
Ooh, I
Oh,
like-
so you're condescending.
That's right. This is my favorite film. I think it's the most, though, not to say those aren't good stories. They're good stories, but overall as a film, a good story, well-produced, like, the look of it and the pace, this is the best film, hands down. So I was surprised by the 22%. But,
yeah,
you know,
I thought more people would vote this as the best Trek movie. I was a little bit shocked at that as well.
I will say, having seen the Trek films that I have now, as of this point, I would rate this as the best Trek film because I enjoyed Undiscovered Country, and I liked Han as a kid also. But like, I agree that this one all around, like, it hits on so many different points, and like, I just had a blast watching it. Like, I didn't have any. I was just like.
And now I don't have to read your comment there that I wrote because you replied to it on Twitter. I was actually going to read it.
What did I say?
Well, no, that you had a freaking blast, and I love that so much that I was going to read it. No, I love that you only saw this when you were 5 and you were getting to re-experiencing it. Like, and this is such a good movie to re-experience as an adult and someone who like has more Trek knowledge now. Like, I love that.
Yeah,
So.
I love.
and it's
like,
so watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I just saw Trek as it was like on TV. Like, I didn't, like, my parents aren't Trekkies or anything, so I just saw it when it was on. If I was at my aunt and uncle's house, like, they had this on VHS, so I remember seeing the logo a lot for this movie, just like the VHS. So the poster for it looks familiar, and then once or twice they'd had watched it in front of me. And my cousin watches Trek all the time, so I've definitely been over his house while like part of this movie's on, but like I've never sat down and watched it. Only in the last year have I really sat and fully trekked.
Yeah.
So.
Eric, do you want to read what Engineer 21 wrote?
Yes, I do. I last saw First Contact at a pretty dark time during the Black Lives Matter protests. The last conversation between Lily and Picard, with Picard being envious of Lily for taking steps into the new frontier, that hit me hard. So much hope and promise. That being said, First Contact is the best TNG film for me. Best Trek film for me goes to Beyond in the Kelvin timeline. Ooh.
I do like Beyond a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The fun one.
Over on Twitch and YouTube, people are saying, I don't like Wrath of Khan that much either. That comes from Joe Crabsap. He also says that he would put this as the best TNG film. And Jay says, I'm going to get some hate for this, but I would say Wrath of Khan was the worst movie, even above 5.
Is 5 whales?
No,
5 is.
Why does God need a starship?
More power to you, man. Good job.
You know what kills me? You know that song by The Weeknd, Starboy? It's a fun song, but when he says Star Trek 2 and the Wraith of Khan, it hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just say Wrath.
It hurts
I know
everyone.
you're like I don't know, is he Canadian or
He's
something?
He's
But
from Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Ooh, blame
Okay,
the
there's no
Canadians.
excuse. There's no excuse. You can say Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Falls, that explains it all.
I do love it.
Ouch, I'm originally from
And why Rowlight says you never get back into a theater to see Generations or Insurrection again. I'd do it in a heartbeat if they did a First Contact reshowing. That's what
100%.
yeah.
Oh, I would go right now with you.
Love that.
They did
Well,
it.
not right now. There's a pandemic, but
They did it last year for us. I don't know if you remember this. They had a bunch of old like movies, and First Contact was one of the ones they put back into Cineplex Odeon.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah,
Stop.
Cineplex does that with classic movies. Well, they used to.
Yeah.
I guess that must have been one of them.
Yeah, it
You know-
was one of the $2 movies.
Maybe one of the things we could do at our Dragon Con, we're gonna do like a live podcast if we all go. You know, who knows what's happening in the future. I'm watching them now on. I have a projector that I got for not for the pandemic, and so I've been watching things against like my back garden shed, and it's been huge and amazing. And so we could set it up, and because if you guys have been to Dragon, there's always a spot with a giant wall up on like the the 20th floor. We could do that and have like a little watch along.
I would love that.
we can call it, or like, it'll be my first Dragon Con.
It would be mine too.
Nice.
Your
Yay.
first contact with Dragon Con.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I want to know where this one ranks for you guys in the Trek film franchise as far as rankings, and then your rating out of 10 Borg nanoprobes.
I mean, we already said, but this is my favorite film, and 10 out of 10 Borg nanoprobes. Best film, really well done, concise, quick moving, rewatchable as hell. Best movie.
I will also rate it 10 of 10 because it's better than 7 of 9. statistically speaking. It also means that it becomes one, which is what the Borg want to be. Yeah, I think it's great. I would watch this like anytime. Like it's just fun and great, and I loved it. Even though I watched it alone and not with you guys.
Oh.
Okay, my work schedule was rough.
Rob, how about you?
I have a hard time giving anything perfect, but I really do love this movie, so I'll say 9.5 out of 10.
Oh.
Fair.
10 out of 10. Best TNG film. Often wavers with 6 with me. Like those can take first place for me anytime. Also 2009. I love 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
That's number 3 for me. Okay, that was everybody, right? Me. I also give it a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I saw it 8 times in theaters. Eight times.
Wow.
I was committed. And I love it. Over on YouTube and Twitch, let's see. Joe gives it a 10 out of 10. And Mag says 8.5 out of 10 Borg. 8.5 out of 10 Borg Queen whispers.
Those are careless whispers.
They are. Spotted Giraffe
Such a
gives it
sexy
a
song.
9 out of 10. Jay says I would rate this movie 11 out of 10. And yeah, that is. Oh, and someone gave it an 8. Did I miss an 8 somewhere?
8 out of 10.
Oh, there it is from NY Riley. 8 out of 10. I like it. So let's get into some fun facts. And the first fun fact isn't that fun, so I'm gonna read it, and then Rob, you could read the next one.
Sure.
But this one's actually a little depressing. But the
It
film
is.
actually opened on the same day that Mark Leonard, the actor best known for portraying the character of Sarek, died at the age of 72. But interesting that this opened the day he died. Little sad coincidence there, because he was brilliant, like such a great actor. Rob, take our second fun fact.
I'm only just reading it now. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Oh, this one sounds fun.
The reference that Data makes about using his fully functional sexual organs seemingly references the time he used them with Tasha in Next Gen's The Naked Now.
I mean, I hope he used them.
Though that would take place in 2365. This would seem to indicate that Data and his 4th season girlfriend, Jenna DeSora, were never sexually intimate during the course of their relationship.
Intriguing.
Guess he couldn't get it up for Jenna Zora.
Well, hold on. As a lesbian, I will have to say he can do a lot without his sexual organ. So, you don't know.
There you go.
You don't know.
All right.
Spotted Giraffe was not impressed by our fun fact because we all knew that. I'm like, okay. all right there.
About the death or the orgasm?
I think
which Spotted Giraffe knows in French is slang for like little death.
How do you say orgasm in French?
Le petit
I'm
mot.
not gonna say it.
I'll say
Le
it.
petit mot. Yeah, le petit mot.
Sorry.
I put these fun facts in here for Memory Alpha just so we had some more stuff to talk about after the episode. So yes, I'm sure a lot of us knew this, but we're going to read them anyway. So who wants to read?
My turn?
Next fun fact. Yeah, go ahead.
I just saw it said Dick, but I just realized it's Moby Dick, so now it's less fun. But
You were so excited.
I'm kidding. Well, no, I'm just messing with Julian because our other podcast we got into a big tirade about cyberpunk and customizing
say about
body
dicks.
parts.
Dildos
Yeah.
everywhere in that
I made
game.
so many jokes.
I heard about the dildos.
I don't understand
Well,
it.
Why not? Brittany can't talk right now, you guys, because she's laughing so hard. So I won't read it because she wants to read the thing about dicks. But I'm just gonna keep filling in the time
It's
until
fine.
then.
I can't. Some things cannot be said on Twitch. So, First Contact references and even explicitly quotes Moby Dick. Despite the story parallels, the producers hesitated using it, as Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan was also heavy in Moby Dick references.
You can do this.
2 years after First Contact premiered, Patrick Stewart played Captain Ahab in a 1998 TV miniseries.
I need it. I want to watch it now. I've never seen it.
I mean, who hasn't played Captain Ahab in a 1998
I
TV
might
Is it a
have
good
it.
movie? Let's find out if it's a good film, because if it's a bad film, we can put that on the list.
Ooh, yeah. Indeed.
Bonus.
I feel like he's
I'll-
probably sitting there in his little captain hat, and he's like, "Call me Ishmael. Get off my bridge."
Aaron, did you say
Yeah.
you're going to take the next one?
Yeah, I got the next one. Early in the movie, Zephyr Cochrane points out the constellation Leo, which is the constellation where Wolf 359 is located.
Inside
know.
job.
That is actually a really fun fact because Wolf 359 was an
An
inside
inside job.
Mhm.
Uh,
So
Cerritos.
Yeah.
poor Cisco.
Eric,
So- I already wrote my name in the document.
ooh, nice.
You took this one?
It's mine!
It's mine.
No further. First contact marked the first time the phrase Star Trek was ever uttered in the franchise. In the TNG finale, All Good Things, however, Q tells Picard it's time to put an end to your trek through the stars. And then he sang the theme, obviously.
Look at them.
Oh man. I guess it's back to me. All right. Riker calls the Defiant tough little ship in the DS9 third season episode Defiant. Riker calls the Defiant a tough little ship in the DS9 third season episode Defiant, my favorite episode of DS9. Thomas Riker called it the same thing. So those Rikers, tough little ships.
Tough little ships.
They're also some tough little shits, if you know what I mean.
Indeed.
All right. Last one.
Yeah, give it to Rob. He's our guest. Rob, you close it out, man.
I like that he's our guest and we're like, read all this shit.
Earn your place.
Dude, Aaron said the same thing to him last night on Drunk Space Time. Like he has to earn his keep when he's the one giving us his money.
I'm glad
Yeah,
that
true.
you remember that because I don't remember anything I said.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I remember everything.
It's Canadian money. It doesn't count for
I
much.
am the guardian of forever.
Oh, very nice. That's going to be one of your cosplays at Dragon Con.
I'm gonna come as a brick portal.
No, Carl.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
Carl.
a brick.
Carl.
I'm
Oh.
wearing
With the
portal.
newspaper.
Yeah.
All right, take us
All
away,
right,
Rob.
all right. So our last fun fact is that the events of Star Trek: First Contact were later referred to in DS9's In Purgatory Shadow, Voyager's Year of Hell Part 2, and Voyager's Relativity. The latter using those events as an example for the Pogo paradox.
I was about to say, all episodes where things don't end up mattering.
The Borg sphere was recovered in Enterprise's Regeneration, while a different version of Earth's First Contact with Vulcans, utilizing footage from the film, can be seen in Enterprise's Mirror Universe episodes In a Mirror Dark.
When fucking Zephyr Cochrane
Oh.
shoots the Vulcan.
It was so crazy.
So good.
I was about to say, it's a great episode name. I haven't watched the show yet, but In a Mirror Darkly, like,
Can I rewind and
Like
ask what the
Scanner
Pogo
Darkly.
paradox is?
Sorry?
The Pogo parrot?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know that one.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Well,
so it's
let me read it.
well,
The-
a pogo stick, you see, bounces up and down. So a pogo paradox. Go ahead.
The Voyager
the-
was standing.
The Pogo paradox is a causality loop in which interference to prevent an event through the use of time travel actually triggers the same event.
Yeah.
Isn't that
'Cause it's
usually
a
a
pogo.
predestination paradox?
They explained this in Stargate with like this crazy thing where it was like you
Oh.
have the cause and effect, but
Yeah.
but with like this crazy thing where there's actually the effect that precedes the cause actually makes the effect.
Well, yeah, the effect predetermines the cause, which causes the effect.
I don't
Yeah, but
remember.
without
Guys,
So
pogo.
it's a
Pogo
loop.
jumps. Boing. Boing.
but if
This
you
is what they're
never
talking
did
about.
this, how did this happen?
Yes. Well, okay. And speaking of Stargate, the random dude who got assimilated in the Jeffries tube at the start, that was Natan, the boss of the Lucian Alliance. In the
Yes,
last
it was.
Oh, you're
Yes,
kidding.
it was.
Stargate.
Yep,
It's all
Yeah.
connected.
Noise.
it is.
Atlantis,
Noise.
so good. Universe is
Tweet
terrible.
nuts.
Tweet
Ladies-
nuts. 99.
Ladies and gentlemen,
99. Deep
It is-
99.
it is time to activate the auto destruct on this episode of A Strange New Pod. It has been our first contact deep dive. It has been a shit ton of fun. I love this.
And we hope from this you get a first contact high.
Indeed.
Hi, Engine Nerd. Sorry you're late.
Oh, hey, engineer, we're just wrapping up.
Yeah,
Engine nerd, I love
enjoy
you.
the rest of this podcast for the next 2
What I will
minutes.
say is that this is the first of 2 more deep dives into the TNG film. Our next one in a couple of weeks will be on Star Trek Insurrection, and then we'll wrap up with Nemesis. So Eric's looking forward to that one. So much.
I haven't seen Nemesis in like 20 years, so that for
You're
me will
not
be a
missing
good one.
much.
No, I remember it being bad, and Insurrection was like a good episode, but not a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
There we
Okay,
go.
so-
You don't even have. That's the
This
whole podcast.
movie
Done.
had the Moby Dick. The next one has the Surrection.
And
Oh.
Gilbert and Sullivan. I'm not giving you the satisfaction. So,
I'm not satisfied at all.
no.
That's what she said.
Rob, thank you so much for joining us on this journey and supporting our show and being part of our awesome patron collective. We'll be doing the drawing for January's guest spot in January sometime. It's all random. It's all random. When she's on,
hope it's-
she's going to be glorious in her
Yes.
interview.
Haha.
Yeah.
Don't
but I
forget
wanna
to
say-
answer our trivia question, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
email
don't
us.
forget.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There was a question in the Discord
this.
asking if patrons can play the game.
Yeah,
Why
Patreon.
not?
Anybody can play the game. Yeah, absolutely. It is open
Play
to
the
everyone.
game.
Yep. So I will say just real quick again, thank you to anybody who's listening that is part of our Patreon collective. Whether you are a member or not, we appreciate you supporting our show and watching us live every week. It means so much. We want to wish you a very merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate it, just another awesome week. Yeah, we love you guys. So we'll see everyone on Saturday the 26th for our disco review. Resistance is futile, live long and
Sweet.
prosper, and Majram.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.